Hi, we are going to talk about your AP Literature writing portfolio for this year. This is something a little bit new that we're going to do this year that is going to keep track of your writing in preparation for the AP exam. Your teacher will tell you all sorts of stuff about this, but I'm going to show you today how to create your own Google site. So this is a sample site. Your teacher will give you the link. The design is completely up to you and what you want to do. On the home page, or if you want a separate page like an About Me section or something like that, you will have your name, a picture of yourself, unless your teacher has other requirements. But this is where you're going to tell us who are you, what are your academic goals, and what is the purpose of this portfolio. And we'll be talking more about this, and you'll get a list of requirements and some rubrics as we continue. But basically, the purpose of this writing portfolio is to demonstrate your achievements as a writer and critical thinker in AP Literature, to reflect and assess all of your work as a writer and critical thinker. This includes your own self-assessment as well as an assessment by your teacher. Document your learning via a growth mindset mentality. Evaluate your level of preparedness to take the AP exam, and determine what additional support you may need as a writer and critical thinker. So this is a sample homepage. You're going to want to set up 3 sections. The first one is for question 1, which is your poetry analysis. This year, we will do a minimum of 2 essays on poetry. Then question 2, which is the prose analysis, which is what we're working on right now. You will have a minimum of 2 essays. And then the question 3 is the literary argument. You will likely have 2 of these as well. I probably should have copied and pasted those pages over here, but they'll have essay 1 and essay 2. And then the last tab is leisure reading novels. And this is where we would like you to keep track of 5 novels that you have read this year. One of which will be Hamlet. Another will be Raisin in the Sun, and 1984 will likely be on there. And then the 2, so Hamlet, Raisin in the Sun, and 1984, and then 2 of the leisure reading novels that you read with your literature circle group. So you'll have 5 documented there, and we'll show you what you need to include on those pages when we get to that point. So what you're going to want to do is you want to be on your Chromebook, and you want to go into your school Google Drive, not your personal. You want to make sure you're definitely in your CNUSD one. You'll come to the little waffle right over here and click this, and you're going to want to scroll down. Sometimes it's all the way at the bottom, but you might have to look for it. Mine isn't even here. Am I blinking? You're going to look for Google Sites. Okay, if yours doesn't show, like mine didn't. Okay, I'm also logged in and it's my personal, so that might be why. Okay, well, I would be shocked if you clicked your waffle and you couldn't find sites in here. Okay, well, it's basically right here, and you are going to, if I go back, it's going to look like this. Now, I have lots of sites here, so you can just come up here and click the blank. Then you can come up with a title for your page, put the title here up on the site. You can change the image. There's all sorts of places that you can go to find awesome images. One of my favorite places to go is unsplash.com. Now, this site was blocked this school year. I'm hoping they've unblocked it by now. I tried to see if they could do that. If not, one of your other options is to go on your phone and go to Unsplash and find the graphics and photos that you like and save them to your phone and then email them to yourself. But Unsplash just has, like, oh my gosh, so many amazing pictures and graphics that are all free use, meaning that you do not have to cite them. If not, if you pull something from like Google Images, you could potentially, if someone found your site, could potentially get in trouble for using a photograph or image that is not owned by you. So there's just all sorts of things. You can also look for emoticons, like emojis. But no, what's the other term that I was going to look for? Icons, like free icons. So royalty free, meaning you don't have to pay for them. Business illustrations, but they're usually, oh yeah, flat icon is one that I use, but you do have to search for the free ones. But there are all these like packs of stickers and stuff so you can use for your tabs. All sorts of things to really make your website creative. So go back. Like I said, you can change the colors, you can stay the styles. If you go over here to themes, these are different themes that you can have that then you can start to edit and really just play around with things that you like, change the colors, font styles, etc. So to add pages, you're going to come here to pages. And so this is your home page. Underneath your home page, I'll type in question 1, prose analysis. So now it puts that as a tab right here, and I can decide how I want the tabs to look. I can click here to actually go to that page. If I want a page under my prose analysis, I can click the 3 dots and put add subpage, and I can put essay 1. Now you can see how it's like indented, so that means that when I go to the prose analysis page, there is a sub tab under essay 1, and then you can add essay 2 and so forth. Now, if I want to add another page, I'm going to type question 2 prose analysis. That made another tab. And if you like mix it up and you want it to be under here, just go highlight it and it'll put it over here. If you want it to go back under your home page, oops. How do I make that one go? There we go. But you could also delete it and just re-add it. And then you're going to add more sub pages here, just kind of based on the way the sample page is set up. But when it comes to the design and where you want the menu and site name and graphics, that is all up to you. Every page you can add pictures and text. You can add all sorts of different things, links to other things. Like, so maybe when somebody clicks on this picture, it's going to take them to a separate link. And so you have all of that set up. So then what I want you to do is I want you to come over here and I want you to go to your drive. Okay. I'm going to make a new folder. And you can title this folder CNUSD, you can title it Santiago, or you can type it AP Lit website. I'm just going to type in, I already actually have an, no, I think AP Lit. Okay, so now I've made a new folder, whatever you want to title it. So now I want to take this folder and I want to right click it and I want to click share. Here's what you're going to want to do. You want to add your personal email. So you should be in your CNUSD, but you want to add your personal. So this is, well, I'm already doing it my personal. So I'm going to add my CNUSD. Okay. And I've shared that. I've made sure that that person is also an editor. Okay. I'm going to go back and right click again. I'm going to click share again. I want to make sure that it'll say that it's restricted and only people with a CNUSD account can access it, but you want to change this to anyone with the link. And like yours should say restricted to CNUSD, but anyone with the link outside, and they can be a viewer. Because when you type up documents like your sample essays, anything that you're going to link to from your drive, when you do that and you link it to your website, if that person doesn't log in with their CNUSD, they will not be able to see the material on your website, even though you can see it. If you were to send that link to somebody else, they might not be able to access it. So that's why it's really, really important that you change that restriction. And this way, those of you who like to work in your personal drive, as opposed to your school drive, that way everything that goes in this folder is automatically shared with both. And that way it can be opened no matter where you are. So then anything that you want to be on your website, like let's say you wrote an essay on The Great Gatsby, and you wrote a wonderful essay and it's in a Google Doc, or maybe you hand wrote it and now you're going to type it, or whatever it is, you're going to want to make sure that that file goes into this folder so that it will automatically have the permissions to be able to be seen on your website. Okay, so when you come back to your website and let's say that you're going to link something, you just click the little paperclip, insert the link. You can link it to another part on your website. You can link it to a Google Doc or a slideshow, whatever whatever you need or want is on here. If you have any questions, let your teacher know, but go ahead and play around in your settings, see where you want the menus to be. You're not going to make a custom domain unless you want to pay for one. I don't know much about announcement banner, but you can try and play with that as well. But make sure that your website is as creative as possible, and throughout the year we'll be adding some things. Oh, the last thing that I want to show you is if you click share with others, well, actually first what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit publish. It's going to show up as like a Santiago site or a CNUSD site, and then you're going to put, whatever you want it to be, like EP Literature, writing portfolio. And you want to make sure that anyone can view your site. Okay? And then I wouldn't check this unless you really want people to be able to find your website through a Google search. I would leave that unchecked and then hit publish. Okay? Once you do that, when you hit this link, it'll give you the link for your published site. And that's the link that you're going to want to give to your teacher. I think you can also get it by hitting the plus sign. And you can check and make sure it's not restricted and all that kind of stuff. But that's the link that you're going to give to your teacher. Even though your website is published, if you do not give the link to another student in your class, no one else will be able to find it or see it. So it's okay to write about being vulnerable about your writing, or you're like, I'm not really sure that I want to show my first essay. It was terrible. I'm really embarrassed by it. No one but your teacher will be able to see it. No one's going to be able to be, searching for it, even though it is published. Okay, so, keep that in mind, that unless you send your published link to another student, no one will be able to see it, and your teacher will keep that part private. But this way you'll have access to it, in other places. You could, if you wanted to, create it with your personal, if you're afraid that once you've graduated, you won't have access to anything in your website. You could also just share it with your personal Google address, and I think that would work, and make sure that that person is an editor. And that way you can preserve it if you're like, oh, that'd be really cool in 10 years to come back and look at my website. Awesome. Go ahead and do that. Those are all things that you can do. Okay, so I think that is everything that I want to explain to you. If you have any questions, go ahead and let your teacher know, and they will help you. And good luck with your website. Stay tuned for details about what you're actually going to be writing on your website and the requirements for it. Have a great day.